Jamar Parker says, I am currently learning SQL and Python on Free Code Academy. Do you know where I can put what I'm learning into practice? Um, I do have an idea for you, Jamar. Um, one of the people that I'm coaching, right? Mm, let me see. I'm not 100% sure what exactly you're learning with SQL and Python, but um, what I would say is what I would say is the best way that I found in learning these technologies is making them applicable to me, right? So, what does that mean? I find something that I like, right? And then I build something that is going to give me interest. So, it's going to make me want to work on it, right? So, um, how could, so it depends, right? If you're still in the chat, right? Let me know something that interests you, and then I can formulate a strategy that you can use to to learn it. So I'll give an example for myself, right? Um, for at least for the let me see. So I'll give you two examples, right? I'll give you one with SQL. One of the people that in the Patreon that I was coaching, they were studying SQL for applying for jobs and stuff like that. So I said that let's pick up on some new technologies here. So I said, all right, let's get Docker to install maybe like MySQL, right? And we're going to import a database into the MySQL that we installed, and then we're going to be able to query that database and things like that, right? Um, and and that way we get familiar with how to how to get a like we get familiar with Docker for one. We get familiar with how to import a database too, right? How to connect to a database from that we have installed locally through Docker. Then we have like how, after you import it, how to query it. So now you're using all your queries that you're doing. I would also see if we can find a database of some like maybe you like sports, for instance, right? Maybe we can find a database that has like some sports statistics, right? And then we can query that. I don't know, whatever the case may be, right? Another example that I have it was a quick thing that I did, like spur of the moment Patreon video that I did, where so I train Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and one of my buddies that I train with, he had he had a list of tutorials, right, that he uses, and I have a list of my tutorials. So he's like, "Oh, let's combine our lists so we can compare to see what we have, and we can share resources." I said, "Okay, cool." So he sent me his list, and I was like, "All right." Um, a quick way I wanted to show the Patreon members of how you can apply what you're learning. I said, "All right, let me look at the source code. Let me see what API calls they have for the site that we use." And I was able to use Python to do an API query on that site to get a list of all of the classes that I have, and I was able to like take that list and put it into the Excel document, right? Or I think we use a Google Sheets, but same thing, right? And the point is that find things that interest you and look for quick little projects, right? So learning Python, you're probably going to be using like the request library to doing API calls. You're using Selenium WebDriver, whatever the case may be, right? But those are the things that I use. Another idea that like based on your current situation, right? Say learning SQL and Python, I would probably say maybe I could use the API call to pull in that data from the courses that I'm taking, like or the classes that I have, the tutorials that I have, the instructionals they call them, right? And then I can take that and I can structure that to input that information into a SQL database from Python, right? So different ideas like that. Those are like the strategies that I would use so I can make it learn what I'm learning, put it into practice for something that's worthwhile to me, right? It just depends on what interests you, and then you can structure it that way. If you're still here, let me know something that would interest you, and I can probably strategize a way that you would be able to um make it something that's worthwhile, something that you can visualize, right? Because to me, it's always like I always like to do it as like, what can I visualize to make it to make me remember it, right? And that's how I'm able to navigate through these different softwares and things like that. All right. So let me know, and we'll get to that. All right. So now Melissa says,
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.